Has there ever been a situation in your life where hope deferred has made your heart sick? Proverbs 13:12, right? And it's a silly question because, of course, every single one of us have multiple situations in our lives that make our heart sick because we're like, God, why isn't it happening yet? Or God, why is it taking so long? Or God, have I done something? Or God, do I not have enough faith? And all of these questions come up, right? Well, I was coaching a client the other day and God gave us a unique perspective on this verse that I'm going to share in this video. So if your heart is currently sick or your heart has ever been made sick by hope being deferred, I'm going to show you how to turn it around and help the second half of the verse come to pass, that a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Hi there, I'm Lisa Berg from accomplishyourpurpose.com, where we love on this channel helping you to walk and talk with Jesus, to know what it looks like to walk through everyday, real life, practical scenarios with Him. So come across and visit us at accomplishyourpurpose.com. There's links below to some notes that go along with this video. I really encourage you to journal, to ask the questions with the Lord. That's how our clients get the most out of everything that is shared from the Word. So I was on a coaching call with a client the other day and we were talking about the situation in their lives where hope had really been deferred, where they'd been longing for something, they'd been asking God for something, they'd been standing in faith for something, and it just wasn't happening. And they got to the point, and this is a strong believer, they know the Lord really well, they hear the Lord really well, but there's such a truth in that verse where when we have something we're hoping for and it doesn't come to pass, it makes our hearts sick. We get discouraged, we get despondent, we get like, should I even be trying this? And it really gives a place for the enemy to come in and sow doubt and confusion and fear and unbelief in our lives, right? And it happens to every single one of us because that's the way God created us, to long for and desire things. And when they don't happen, that's when we really get to look deeper at the situation. So as we did that, as we asked more questions and asked the Holy Spirit what this was about, He showed us something that was just so beautiful. And He said, and this is the key, if you're writing something down, this is the wisdom nugget that the Holy Spirit gave us that can turn everything around for you, right? And He said to us, hope deferred makes the heart sick when your hope is anchored to an outcome on earth. And it's not anchored to me. Wow. Our minds were blown. We just sat on the call going, oh my goodness, Lord, show us what that looks like, right? So as He began to unpack it, it looked like when our hope is anchored, we've just moved into a new home and our hope has been anchored for many, many years in owning a home of our own, on land, just many of the desires of our heart, right? And there have been many times over the decade that I've been believing for this, that my heart has been made sick because it hasn't been coming to pass. But He showed me that was exactly the problem, was that my hope was anchored on getting a piece of land in the country, it looking like I wanted it to look, so that I thought I would be happy. I wanted the outcome I thought would make me happy. But that never ever works because circumstances on earth can change at the drop of a hat. People change at the drop of a hat. We cannot anchor our hope and our happiness in another person, in a circumstance happening, because none of it is assured. Right? We don't get to control anything else on the earth but ourselves. So as we were sitting there talking this through, I thought, okay, Lord, what does it look like to have our hope anchored in You then, right? And I realized that over the years, He took me through the decade. He took this client of mine through the decades of what she'd been, the time that she'd been believing for this thing to come to pass. And He said, where have you been happiest? Where has a desire fulfilled given you a tree of life? Right? Without the actual circumstance on earth looking like you want it to look, but where have you felt fulfilled along the journey? And as I sat thinking, I went, Lord, it's where I've actually anchored my hope in You being good. It's where I've anchored my hope in You being a good Father, in You loving me like a loving Father did, in putting my hope in what the cross accomplished, what the resurrection and death and rebirth of Christ, the coming back to life of Christ actually accomplished. When I've anchored myself to the fact that the Holy Spirit lives in me, with You, in You, every moment of the day. So it's so interesting. That's when I've come back to peace. That's when I've come back to hope and faith and felt strength come into me again. Is when I've actually concentrated on the goodness of God and how He must be doing something behind the scenes that I can't see. Number one. Number 2, that his definition of what my desire fulfilled looks like is far greater than what I think it is, right? And 3, that the timing needs to be correct. The timing of the maturity in me, when he can bring things to pass, when all the pieces are in place in order for him to bring that desire fulfilled. Those 3 things are crucial to that desire being fulfilled. But in the meantime, and this is the crux, right? In the meantime, as we keep our hope anchored in him, it's the tree of life fulfilled. It's the desire that gives us the tree of life, right? And what happens is that even when we get our thing that we're hoping for, we're in our home now. We're in the home that my husband, I've been believing for many, many years. But there's still issues, right? Because we're still on earth and there's still people involved. And so I'm even learning that when this desire that I thought I wanted fulfilled is fulfilled, I still get to anchor my hope in God helping us through the fact that we found 4 mice in the house, that there's multiple renovations to be done, that there are all sorts of new things, right? But as our hope is anchored in him, the desire of my heart is still being fulfilled and I'm still finding a tree of life. So, my friend, I want to encourage you to look at the journaling questions below this video and take time and sit with the Lord and ask the questions and ask him the more questions that come up. Talk to him about your specific situation and how he feels about it. Ask him those questions, journal it out, whether that means going for a walk and talking to him about it or actually writing it on a piece of paper, whatever works for you. I'm just encouraging you to process this through with the Lord and let him show you his goodness in the midst of your journey while you're waiting for a desire to be fulfilled. Or now that it is the way you think it is, what he actually wants it to look like. It's an exquisite invitation. So as always, Jesus is inviting you on this adventure today. Will you accept? Come across and visit us at accomplishyourpurpose.com. We have coaching services that can help you to get from where you are to empower the 2.0 version of you and all that God has for you and created you to be. Bless you, bless you, bless you. And I'll see you next time.